In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can download and install the Metasploitable in your virtual machine. Here is my already downloaded virtual machine here, and you can see that there are several machines or several operating systems on it. So when you want to download the Metasploitable tool, the first thing you are supposed to do is you are going to come to Google and you are going to type Metasploitable tool. And when you type Metasploitable tool, you are going to see several options. Like you see an option for Metasploitable tool that is coming from 7Z. You are seeing the Metasploitable or Metasploit here, and you are seeing SourceForge. Now, I prefer using either SourceForge or using Rapid7. So I will come to SourceForge and I'm going to click on SourceForge download, and it leads me to this interface here, and you can see that it is showing you the download button whereby you can just click on it and then you are going to get your ISO file, as simple as that. Now, I am not going to click on this. I am not going to download this because I already have this pre-installed in my Windows operating system. But what I'm going to do is that when you will finish downloading it here, what will happen is that you are going to go to your download folder, which is here, and you are going to see that you have a zipped file. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to unzip this file here. You can see that it is telling us that it is the Metasploitable and it is showing that it is for Linux. So what you need to do is you need a tool to unzip this file. So you are going to come back to Google. If you don't have what we call 7Z or 7-zip, you come to Google and you type 7-zip, and then you're going to click on this first one here, which is 7zip.org, 7zip.org, and then you see the link here, which is going to help you to download 7-zip. After having downloaded the 7-zip, you are now going to come back to your download folder, and what you are going to do is that you are going to right click on the Metasploitable to zipped file. You come to more options and then you look for 7-zip. This is 7-zip here. Now what you want to do with 7-zip is that you want to use it to unpack or to unzip this Metasploitable or to extract it, and then you are going to come down here and you see extract. You see extract and you click on it, and then it is going to extract this Metasploitable zipped file for you, and then you are going to have a folder like this. Now after having gotten this folder here, you can just click on it and you see that you have this, and then you have the ISO file here. This is the ISO file for our Metasploitable tool. After having gotten this, what is the next thing that you are expected to do? Now it is time for us to install this Metasploitable tool on our VMware. So you can see that I already have it here. I am going to delete it or remove it. Let me first of all X this. I am going to remove this, and then I'm going to start from the beginning. So this is our interface here, and this is our VMware, and we don't have any Metasploitable tool here. So what are you going to do? You're going to come to home here, and you're going to take create virtual machine. You click on create virtual machine because you want to create a new virtual machine, and then it gives you two options here. The first option says type or recommended, and it says typical, create a workstation, and then you see a custom, advanced. I am going to take this one. I will just take next, and then the next thing I'm expected to do is I will just take next. It asks me, I will install the operating system later. Of course, I'm going to install this operating system later, so I will take next, and then it is asking me guess operating system. Where am I installing this Metasploitable? I am installing it on my VMware. So I will just leave the option as Linux, and then I am going to take next, and then now I am going to give it the name of the operating system that I want to install. Of course, we are installing the Metasploitable tool, so I'm going to type Metasploitable, and I'll give it 2, and then I hit enter, or I come to next and I give it next, and then it asks for the maximum disk size. 20 is enough, and then you come down here, make sure that you select the option split virtual disk into multiple files, and then you click next, and then you check all the options that you have here. What are you doing? We are installing the Metasploitable tool, and here is the name. It shows us the location, the workstation, and every other information that you may need. And then take note that it tells us that the network adapter is in NAT. Make sure that it is in NAT, and then you click on finish. Okay, And then what is going to happen is that we now have the Metasploitable tool here. The next thing that you're expected to do is you come to where you have your Metasploitable and you right click and you go down to settings. When you come down to settings, what I would like us to do is that we are going to look at the hard disk here. Now, first of all, what is the memory? Our memory is 2. It is okay. If you may want to change the memory, you can come here. If you want to increase the memory, which is not necessary because this is a very light operating system, it does not need to take much space. You come up here and you just take it up and then it increases it, but I'm going to maintain at 2 GB. And then what I'm going to do is that you check your processor. The processor is enough. If you want to give it more processor, you can give it one, you can give it more than one, but it is enough because it is a vulnerable machine. And then now we come to the hard disk here. This hard disk here is not for the Metasploitable, so I am going to remove it. I'll come down here, I take remove. This is what you are expected to do, and it has already been removed from here. And now I want to add a different one, the one that belongs to the Metasploitable. And now it says hard disk here, and I say next, or I click on next. Now it asks me for the virtual disk type. I want to take the recommended one, which is SCSI. So I'll just click on next. And then I have 3 options here. I want to take the second option, which says use an existing virtual disk, and I take next. After doing this, now it is asking me for the location where my ISO file is found. So I'll come to browse here and I'll click on browse, and then it leads me to that location. If you are not seeing it here, you come to download here, and then you are going to see it. So it leads me to a location where my ISO file is found, and I'm going to double click on it, and then you can now see that we have our ISO file imported here in our virtual machine. So I'll just take finish, and then it asks me keep existing format. Of course, I want to keep the existing format, and we are good to go. Now, if you look here, you see all the options that we took: memory 1.9 GB, processor 1, hard disk, and then the type, and then you can see the network adapter here is in NAT. If it is not in NAT, you may end up downloading the Metasploitable, and then you find out that you are not getting the IP address of your Metasploitable. So I am just going to come down here and I'll click on OK. And after clicking on OK, everything is fine. You can see all those options here. So what we need to do now is to power on our Metasploitable 2 virtual machine by doing this. And you can now see that it starts running. It is going to ask you, do you want to try to connect this virtual device every time you power on your virtual machine? I will just click on yes, and then I wait for it to do its thing. And now it is going to run for maybe about 3 minutes, and you can now have everything you need in your Metasploit or the Metasploitable in your virtual machine. I am going to pause here and wait for it to load, and then I'm going to continue with the video. Now, after loading, you can now see that we have the interface here, and you can see Metasploitable here. So what you're expected to do here is to come here now, you click on it, and it is asking for the Metasploit login. The login here is the default Metasploitable username, which is msfadmin. msfadmin. You hit enter. The default password is msfadmin, and you hit enter. And now I'm going to clear my screen, and now I'm going to check the IP address of this Metasploitable to see if we did a great job. So I'll do if config, and I hit enter, and you can now see that we have our init IP, our init address here, which is 192.168.40.214. We can also see that we have our IPv6 IP address here. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to try to see if this Metasploitable is connected to our network here or to our home network here. What I'm going to do is I will come to my Ubuntu operating system. I am going to log in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say ping, and I'll ping 192.168.40.214. That is the IP address of our Metasploitable. Let me verify if it is correct. 192.168.40.214. So now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to hit enter, and you can now see that it gives us, or it is returning back with ICMP packets telling us that our Metasploitable is connected to the internet, meaning that we have successfully installed the Metasploitable 2 in our VMware. I am going to stop this ping request, and what I'm going to do next is that I am going to clear my screen here, and I'm going to do a sudo nmap -s/st to see if this machine has open ports as well as open versions 192.168.40.214, and then I'm going to hit enter. It asks for my password. I give it my password, and you can now see that our Metasploit table is connected to our network, and it is vulnerable. You can see the open ports and every other information that you may want to get about the Metasploit table. So this is how you install the Metasploit table, and which is the fastest way to install the Metasploit table in your virtual machine. Please don't forget to comment, share, and like this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to learn ethical hacking, always contact me on my email. Thank you and bye-bye.